The series summary begins with a beautiful girl named Ella, a famous idol. We see her on stage, singing and dancing, and the audience is amazed by her talent. She has many fans from around the world who continue to interact with her and chant her name. Up to this point, nothing unusual happens and everything remains. But we see twin children watching. The strange thing is they understand it and talk. We learn they were once adults but died in an accident and were reborn as these two children, who are Ella's sons. The stranger part is they remember their past. Their nanny enters. Surprised, they watch the concert and are happy, but she is glad she can calm them down. She gets a message from Ella, and reading it, she tells them their mother. At that moment, they look at her, and she is surprised, feeling that they understand her words even though they are still children. She is puzzled by their personalities but doesn't know what to do. Later, their mother Ella returns home and goes to play with her children, but when she picks one of them up, the other starts to cry. She is forced to carry both of them, and they are happy that their favorite star whom they love is their mother. Her manager, Doz, arrives. He asked Ella if it would be possible to take the children to her concert tomorrow. They refuse. It would restrict the famous person. No one should know you are a mother. Also, no one knows who the father of these children is, you don't want to say. At that time, Ella remembers her memories and how her lover abandoned her and left when he found out she was pregnant with twins. But she relies on herself and promised them that she would raise them and at the same time remain a famous star. Indeed, days and years pass and her band succeeds, becoming the most famous band in the world with many fans. At the same time, she continues to raise her children in secret without anyone knowing she is a mother until one day they grow up, and she is seen training and dancing with them. Suddenly, her manager comes in and tells her that he has a new job for her, offering her the lead role in a film. She is happy and agrees, but she learns that the filming is in a remote location and decides to take her children with her. The next day, they get in the car, and on the way, her children are happy to be with her. However, the nanny warns them, saying, "No one should know that your mother is the star. In front of people, consider me your mother, otherwise you'll cause her problems." They listen to her and promise to do so. They reach the filming location. The director welcomes her, but when he sees the children, he is surprised by their resemblance to Ellie. He goes to talk to her son Akko, but he is impressed by Akko's confidence. He offers him a role in a scene in the film. Akko is delighted. He sits to memorize his role, and his sister sees him, and we learn that her name is Ruby. She envies him with their mother, and appears, and they find out she will be acting with them in the film. However, she prefers to act arrogantly because she is famous. The time for filming comes, and they succeed in performing the role well, impressing everyone. When they finish, Ellie sits with her children, feeling happy that they are in her life. She tells them she loves them and is always by their side, but when they sleep, she keeps looking at them sad. We learn she was an orphan and grew up in an orphanage, and because of that, she was exposed to bullying. She suffered in her life until she became a famous star. She promises them she will raise them well, be affectionate with them, and make them happy. The next day, her manager tells him he will give her a week off to do what she wants. Her children are happy, but he warns her not to let anyone know her whereabouts or try to contact her old lover. She reassures him, saying shame on you, she's not even thinking about it, but when he leaves, she goes and calls him. She tells him that his children have grown up and asks him to come see them, but he refuses and hangs up on her. At night, she keeps looking at her children while they are sleeping. She feels sorry for them because they don't know who their real father is. At this time, we see one of her admirers, but he seems to be a psycho. He tracks her location and becomes agitated as she has children and hid them. The next day she wakes up to open the door and here comes the surprise. The psycho is standing there with flowers. When he sees her, he whispers, "You are a liar. You deceived your audience and deceived me. You deceived those who love you. And I have to fix your mistake." But she apologizes, looking at him saying, "I did that to make the audience happy." When she focuses on his features, "I know you. You always attend my concerts and wear that cute red hat." She thanks him for always attending her concerts, and the psycho is surprised that she remembers him. He feels that he wronged her and regrets what he did, but it's too late. He gets scared and runs away, leaving her on the ground bleeding. He sees her and runs to her, calling an ambulance to save her life, but she hugs him and apologizes for him seeing her in that state. She pulls Ruby and keeps holding on, trying to reassure them both, saying she wished to see them grow up. She asks them to fulfill their dreams, crying because she has to leave them alone. The last thing she tells them is that she loves them, and unfortunately, she dies. Her children break down and keep crying because they feel helpless. The police also arrive and take them. The next day, the news spreads, and everyone learns that the famous idol Ellie has died. It's a shock when they find out it was at the hands of one of her fans. The police succeed in finding the psycho's body. It is announced he fled and ended his own life feeling guilty. Her children watch a video Ellie recorded at their birth, saying they are the most precious to her. The day of her funeral arrives. Ruby is crying. However, Ako is silent, lost in thought. He returns in the car and walks away. He sees Ellie's fans standing outside, holding her picture and crying. He is surprised at how they knew the location of the funeral since it was held in secret and no one knew where their house was. He guesses that the psycho also had someone tell him the address of the hotel they were staying at. He concludes that someone leaked this information, but he remains confident in her manager. He recalls seeing what? She was talking to her old lover, telling him her address so he could come see his children, and he confirms that he is the reason. He starts realizing and realizes that his father is the one who did this to get rid of her. He decides to search for him to find out his identity and avenge him for the death of his mother and his favorite star. 10 years pass from that day, and we see Ako, who has grown into a handsome young man working as an actor, but he never forgets his goal. We learn that he is still searching for his real father to take revenge on him. On the other hand, his sister Ruby remembers her memories with their mother because she used to dance with her. Her mother noticed that her daughter was talented and decided to teach her all her moves. They practiced together every day. Returning to the present, Ruby grows up and decides she also wants to become a famous idol like her mother, so she goes to audition for a competition. She starts dancing and singing, performing the same moves she used to do with her mother. The judges are impressed with her and notice that she resembles someone. They ask her if she knows her, but she doesn't reveal that she is her daughter. She tells them that she is her role model and that she wants to be like her. When she leaves, Ako is waiting for her and asks her to focus on her studies, but she refuses and insists on achieving her dream. They go home together, but Ako calls the competition's judging panel pretending to be her father. He asks them to reject Ruby. The nanny overhears and questions his actions. He refuses, saying he protects her from her mother's fate. He leaves and goes to his room to continue his plan, gathering info on those close to his mother, suspecting his father. The next day, Ruby receives a letter from the competition saying she was rejected. She feels upset and disappointed. Companions lighten Bataha. Suddenly, a person appears and gives her an invitation. When she returns home, she tells them that she received an offer to join a special group, but Ako refuses and tears up the paper, saying that they are definitely scammers. However, she doesn't believe him and gets upset. She goes back to her room and later sneaks out at night. She disguises herself and goes to the place where the group performs. She meets one of them and starts talking with her like he were a journalist. He starts recording her and asks if she is comfortable. She tells him that the group's manager exploits them, mistreats them, and underpays them. She informs him that all the group members want to leave due to a penalty clause. Ako returns home and plays the recording for Ruby to confirm that the manager is exploiting the girls. She is shocked by the revelations but is upset because she promised her mother to be as strong as her. The caretaker is moved by her words and decides to help her achieve her dream, and they take him to the place where Ellie used to train in the old days. They start cleaning it so they can use it. Meanwhile, Ako goes to the director with whom she acted in her last film before she died. The director offers him a job because he has been talented since he was young, but Ako refuses and tells him, "I have a goal I want to achieve first. I can't do that if I become an actor." His goal is to find his father and avenge his mother. The director doesn't understand his intention, and when Ako leaves, the director opens the safe. He holds 2 envelopes, and we learn that Ellie had asked him to give them to her children when they turn 20. This is so they can find out who their real father is. A week later, school starts. Ruby gets ready and is excited because she has joined the art school. She goes with her brother, and she is enthusiastic, but he is not as excited as she is because he joined to protect her. He asks if she made friends, but she is disappointed and says no. She explains that all the students are famous, some are actors with followers, and some are singers and idols, and nobody knows her because she hasn't done anything yet. Suddenly, while walking, a girl sees them and calls out to Ako. He is surprised at how she knows him, but she remembers and laughs, saying she is the girl who acted with him in the movie when they were little. She is happy to see him and tells him her name is Jenny. She asks him why he stopped acting even though he was talented. He refuses to tell her and leaves, but she follows him. She keeps watching him until he enters the director's house. She follows him inside and is surprised when she sees him. She reminds him that she is the child who acted in his movie. But he remembers that after filming, she kept crying and asked him to redo the scene because Aiko acted better than her. Jenny feels embarrassed and asks Aiko to start acting again so she can defeat him and prove she is better. She tells him she is in a film and offers him a role, but he refuses until hearing the film's producer's name and realizes he is a close friend of his mother. He agrees, and at home he memorizes his role. Ruby sees him and gets upset, jealous. She says, "I've tried acting for ages without success and you didn't want to, yet the opportunity came right to you." He learns the role is minor and asks her to let him focus. Afterward, he visits the studio and watches a scene with the lead actor but notices the actor can't act and realizes he got the role via connections. He asks Jenny why she agreed to act with him. She says, "After aging, I stopped getting roles and had to accept this film to be recognized again. I returned to acting even if it meant working with someone who can't act." He asks him to make the film a success. Wout, he is touched and agrees, but then he sees the producer smoking cigarettes. He keeps watching him until he finishes, then goes to take his cigarette to do a DNA test if he is his father or not. After finishing what he came for, he decides to fulfill his promise to Jenny and goes to perform his role. However, he provokes the hero by saying things that aren't in the script and bullies him. The director notices but doesn't stop the filming. Indeed, his plan succeeds. The hero gets angry and hits him. Jenny also starts acting her role with genuine emotions, which makes the scene successful because they appear realistic. Everyone is impressed and amazed by their talents, applauding them. All of this is due to Akko's acting. Jenny keeps looking at him, feeling deeply in love with him. The news spreads, and everyone talks about her performance. Afterwards, Akko is sitting when the producer says, "Your acting reminds me of Ella, a girl I knew." Akko gets nervous. Akko returns home to find the test results. He opens them and learns he is not his father. Ruby suddenly asks for a favor. The next day, he messages Jenny to meet after school. She gets excited, thinking he also likes her. She goes to the place they planned, but when she arrives, she is surprised to see Ruby there. She realizes Ruby wants to talk. Ruby asks her to join her idol group, but Jenny refuses. Ruby persuades her, and Akko intervenes, praising, "You are beautiful, and the group will definitely succeed with you." Jenny hears this. She is thrilled, and she agrees. So, in a matter of seconds, she goes with them to the... Akko is happy, reassured his sister is with her. Suddenly, they receive a call. It's the producer offering a new show role. The producer says if he agrees, he will provide key info on Ailey. Akko is surprised and agrees. Next day, he goes to the studio, finds it is a dating show and must pair with a group member. He feels embarrassed but must continue for the producer to fulfill his promise. He laughs and pretends to be nice, surprising her when she watches the show and feels jealous, as she admires him and fears he will get involved with one of them. Then, Akko meets a girl friendly with him on the show and confesses she liked him. He is nervous about her words but doubts it because the cameras are filming them all the time, pretending to like her. Returning home, he finds upset Jeannie, unaware she loves and is jealous of him. Next day at the show, the producer asks and tells him about Ellie, but he refuses and says he should find out everything after the show. After that, he leaves. He also sees a girl named Shia who is trying to date him. But suddenly, the girl snatches him away from her. Shia gets angry and fights with her, injuring her. When she realizes it, she apologizes and starts crying. But the girl is still not straightforward. She tells her she's not upset, hugs her, and her plan works, and she becomes more and more famous, with the news spreading everywhere. She ended gaining fans, bullying Shia and insulting, and she appeared in a bad light. At school, she hears her classmates talking bad, upsetting her. At night, returning home, a storm hits, and it rains. She slips and falls, and she remembers the things people have been saying. People say about her that everyone hates her and bullies her, and she keeps crying. She feels despair and decides to take a break from her life. She stands on the edge, closes her eyes and prepares to jump, but suddenly Akko arrives just in time. He runs to her and grabs her before she does anything to end her life. He hugs her to comfort her and takes her with him to the studio. There she is surprised to find her team waiting for her, apologizing. She is surprised to find that they love her. She is grateful and she wants to quit. But Akko convinces her to continue. He decides to help her improve her image publicly. The next day, he cheers her up by taking her out with the rest of the team. They go to the beach, play, take pictures, and enjoy together. Afterwards, they celebrate her birthday, give her gifts, and it makes you feel that they are one family and among. A type that transforms her from a lonely and ostracized girl to a social and beloved one, with everyone talking about her and sharing photos and videos. Because of this, people like her, she gets shared and she ends up having many followers. She is influenced by a young man who did something for her and she feels she started to like him. She asks him about the type of girls he dreams of being with and he immediately remembers her, describing her as beautiful and kind, with a smile that gives him hope in life. She doesn't understand that he's talking about the singer who died, but she doesn't know that it's his mother. She keeps imitating her, and at night she watches her photos and concerts to embody her personality. The next day, they gather to film the program, but she stands in front of the sun and laughs wholeheartedly. Ako is surprised when he sees her, feeling his heart skip a beat because she constantly reminds him of her. He keeps looking at her. She is happy that she managed to catch his attention and asks him to go out with her. He agrees, and they sit together by the sea talking about Ayla. She tells him that there was a moment when she sang from her heart as if she had something she loved, and she guesses that she must be a mother in secret and considers her children her whole life. Ako is surprised by her intelligence. He is moved by her words, and he returns home. He keeps seeing her pictures, recalling their memories together, and feeling he misses her. Next day, Jenny goes to school, but she hears students talk about Ako, and that he is going to be with Shaya. She feels upset and jealous as she likes him. Ako arrives and tells her it's all an act. He asks her out after school. She thinks it's romantic and happy, so she goes with him. But she is surprised when he takes her to the field and keeps playing the sport with her. She feels disappointed as he treats her like a sister, but she doesn't mind and is happy to be closer to him. The next day, they come for the filming of the last episode of the show and everyone is excited. Ako decides to surprise the audience and goes to confess to Shan that he likes her and hugs her. Jenny watches the episode and even though she knows it's acting, she gets upset and keeps crying. The next day, Ako goes to meet the producer and is surprised when he thanks him for the wonderful show that achieved high viewership because of him. He tells him that he will fulfill his promise and agrees to meet him the day after tomorrow to tell him who the person was that said she loved him. Later, Shia goes to talk to him and asks if they will remain together after the show or not. Ako admits he doesn't love her and it was all acting. He responds to her as if it were acting until the audience forgets their matters. The young woman feels disappointed because she liked him, but she decides to respect his decision and thanks him for his honesty. They leave the team and each goes their separate way. Ako learns one is a YouTuber and she tells him she dreams of being an idol but can't do it now as she is 25 years old. He feels sorry for her and takes her home, asking the nanny to include her in his sister's group. However, she realizes it's difficult because an idol's age shouldn't exceed 20. He asks her why she delayed and didn't try to achieve her dream earlier. The YouTuber decides to tell them her story, saying, "When I was young, I took dance and singing lessons, but suddenly my mother fell ill and was hospitalized. I had to stop my lessons and started working, caring for her because she had no one else but me, until her health improved, but by then it was too late and I had grown older. I had to start a YouTube channel." They are moved by her words and decide to like and subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. Everyone sympathizes with her and Ruby decides to allow her to join her group to achieve her dream. The YouTuber is delighted and thanks her. The three of them go to shoot an advertisement for the ETS group. They meet to take pictures to post, so people think they are still in a relationship. But Jenny sees the pictures and believes they are together, not just pretending, and she gets upset. She goes to sit by herself. When Ako sees her upon returning, he asks what's wrong, but she doesn't respond and asks him not to talk to her. She leaves him, but finds Ruby and the YouTuber arguing over leadership. They decide Jenny should be their leader. They go to ask her for the role, but she refuses due to self-doubt. She leaves them and sits alone, confused. Ako sees her and goes with water, but she refuses it. She continues to mistreat him, and he is confused and asks why. She decides to confront him about his feelings, but he leaves her and goes to his room, falling asleep from exhaustion. The next day he wakes up to the sound of his phone ringing and is surprised to find it's the producer. He goes to meet him and there the producer asks him to tell him about Eli's lover. The producer begins to tell him saying, "The first time I saw her she was sad and depressed and didn't want to be an idol until she joined the acting company. There she met the love of her life and secretly married him. She became optimistic again." And Ako is surprised and confirms the truth as she joined the company pregnant. He doesn't know her husband's identity. Suddenly, a writer friend of the producer enters. Ako notices a resemblance, feels he knows him, but leaves. At home, he plans to join the acting company to find his father. Ruby and her team start practicing and hold their first concert, but Jenny feels inadequate as an actress compared to their dancing and singing. She sits alone and Ako sees her and boosts her confidence. You'll succeed. He will attend the concert to support her. Jenny is inspired and wants to prove herself. She returns to her team and starts practicing with them. One day, Danny goes to the acting company and meets someone there, and they conduct an audition series. They start rehearsing the scenes and the director is impressed with their talent. They succeed in meeting in the series. They decide to start filming in 2 days, but the manga team refuses because they want to revise the script. Everyone is surprised because there's no time left. The director and producer try to convince her to start the series, but she refuses. She tells them she wants the series to be exactly like her story. She insists on revising it herself first. Ako feels frustrated because this way the series will be delayed with Shal until a new date is set. Photo equivalent. On the other side, Ruby and her team keep practicing the songs they perform at the concert, but they feel tired and decide to take a break to rest. They notice that Jenny is more enthusiastic than they are, and she tells them that she has been running and exercising since she was young as she excels. That's why she is stronger than them and prefers to train alone because she knows she is stronger. She wants to prove to him that she is capable. At night, they try to sleep because the concert is tomorrow, but they can't. They are afraid that no one will attend the concert. However, Ruby remembers her dream and that she will finally become an idol as she promised her mother, and she falls asleep peacefully. The next day, they go to the festival where they will perform at the concert, but they are surprised to find many other bands there. They feel nervous because the place is crowded. They are taken from the jam area to the place where they will change their clothes, but they are surprised to find that it's a shared room with many girls. They are informed that this is the place for beginner idols, but the famous idols have a stage and a special place for themselves. They are asked to give their best to become famous, and they promise to do so. They sit together to eat in preparation for the performance they will give, but Jenny is nervous and can't eat. She tries to act as if she's fine in front of them and goes to the bathroom, where she notices people looking at her. She hears them saying she's a failure because she couldn't act after growing up. She tries to gather her courage because the team is relying on her as the leader. She returns to them, and they change their clothes. Ruby notices that she's scared and trembling. She tries to calm her down, telling her that it's natural since it's her first time on stage. Jenny is affected by her words and says, "I'm not afraid for myself, I'm afraid of being a burden on you and ruining the performance." But Ruby says, "I trust you because you're talented," and she tells her they are united and will surely succeed. Jenny is happy with her words, regains her confidence, and decides to seize the opportunity and give it her all. Then the time for their performance comes, and the three of them go on stage, excited, and they start singing. They are still beginners, and it's their first time performing in front of a large audience. It was impressed by their performance and amazed at their talent. They have beautiful voices and dance is coordinated. The audience engages and chants their names. Suddenly, Jenny feels she forgot the moves and gets nervous, fearing she might ruin the performance. Then she sees Ako in the crowd, and he dances to remind her of the moves. She is happy he kept his promise to support her, and decides to make him fall in love with her. When they finish, the audience continues to applaud. The name of their band is on all lips, and they become famous, with everyone talking about them. They sit in a restaurant, and Ako informs them that he will be participating in a drama series. Ruby is happy as she thinks he did it to achieve his dream, not knowing that he is actually looking for his father to take revenge on him. The author succeeds in revising the story with the writer. He sends the script to the actors, and the next day Ako starts memorizing his role. She calls him and is happy that she will be acting with him. After a week, they begin filming the series, but suddenly the author receives a message and gets bad news. Ako notices that he is upset and asks him what's wrong. He learns that an actress has broken her leg and has withdrawn. He feels frustrated because he can't find a famous actress who can play the role in such a short time. Ako decides to help him and suggests that Jenny take the role because she is talented and has been acting since she was young. Indeed, he calls her, and the next day she joins the acting team. She is happy to achieve her dream and thanks Ako. She sees them talking and she realizes that she admires him, feeling jealous of their relationship. After they finish filming, they argue with each other over him and both become competitive, wanting to win his heart. Ako is surprised by their behavior and tries to focus on his plan. He starts collecting items from the filming crew to keep them for DNA analysis because surely one of them is his father whom he is searching for. Later, he is filming a scene from his role where he is required to cry over his friend, but he can't do it. The director feels that his emotions are fake and continues to give him guidance. During the break, Jenny goes to give him advice, telling him to remember painful memories from his life so he can cry. Ako is convinced by her words and tries to recall the moment of his mother's death, saying she was the person he loved the most. When it's time to film, he remembers his memories with her and imagines her in front of him. He starts to break down in tears, and everyone is impressed by his performance. They feel that his emotions are genuine. He realizes he is talented in acting, but he can't bear it because he saw her die right in front of his eyes. He feels exhausted and faints, surprising everyone, and they stop filming. They rush to check on him, but at that moment, he dreams of his mother as he falls to the ground. He feels guilty for not being able to save her. When he wakes up, he finds her beside him, worried about him. She gives him water and tries to calm him down, but he doesn't want Ruby to see him like this. He asks her to take him somewhere else. She goes with him and takes him to the director's house, then leaves him to rest. The director mistakes her for his girlfriend. He learns that Ako had childhood trauma, and when he recalls it, he breaks down. She is surprised and seeks incident details, but he won't say. He asks her to stay until he recovers, and she does. She sees he is scared, talking in sleep, calling Ellie. She holds his hand, puzzled, connects dots, recalls he said Ellie is a girl. And his sister wants to be an idol like her. She suspects they are siblings and she died in front of their eyes. She sympathizes with him and stays by his side. Upon waking, she hugs him and tells him she will stay by his side. Next day, he continues filming, and afterwards, Ako tells her he dislikes acting. He reveals someone is looking for him to take revenge, expecting her fear and distance. However, he is surprised she is unfazed and tells him she will help, trusts him, and won't abandon him. After that, the first episode of the series is aired, and everyone watches it. It becomes successful and trends on social media, especially his scene. At the studio, Jenny feels jealous and makes snide remarks saying, I'm more famous than you and your acting isn't good. She shows a magazine about her youth saying she's grown up. She acts as she is talented from a young age. She promises her that she will act better than her. Indeed, she goes and performs her scene, embodying the role and impressing everyone with her talent. As a result, the series' viewership increases more and more, trending on all channels. When Jenny returns home, Ruby and the YouTuber explain everything, and the nanny surprises them by saying she will make a new song and dance for her. These will be special for her. But she is waiting for the composer to agree. Ruby is excited and can't wait. She decides to go meet the composer herself. She walks in on him during a meeting to talk to him. She asks him to compose the song as quickly as possible. She is in a hurry and aims to achieve her dream and become famous. She leaves it happens. The composer gets excited as his idea is accepted, and he decides to cancel everything and start composing her song. Indeed, he manages to finish it in a short time, sends it to her, and Ruby listens to it. The whole team is impressed by it, they approve it, and decide to record it as soon as possible to release it. Later, Ako returns home and sees the test results. He goes to his room and reads them, finding all negative but one. He is surprised when he sees it. He finds it. The next day, he goes to the filming of the last episode of the series, and it is decided that he will attend before carrying out his revenge. The final scene involves him finding his beloved lying on the ground, covered in her blood. He runs to her to save her, but she apologizes for leaving him and asks him to continue his life without her. He instantly remembers his mother because she said the same words to him before she died. He feels like the scene is repeating itself and he can't bear it, calling out to her while breaking down in tears. His performance is unbelievable, and they don't realize that he has experienced pain before, which is why his acting talent shines through. No one knows that he is genuinely crying because he is grieving for his mother. After the filming ends, he goes to meet an older actor who played the lead role and asks to speak with him. He shows him the DNA results, revealing that they are related from the same father, and asks him to reveal his father's identity. The actor is surprised and takes him home to talk. There, he asks him about his mother's name, but Ako refuses to tell him. The actor informs him his father was also an actor. However, he was unsuccessful and died due to his debts. He tells him he had many relationships as he used to deceive girls and play with them. I hated him. Ako is surprised by what he learned and leaves feeling frustrated because his revenge plan failed. When he returns home, he finds R is worried about him and asks where he was all night, but he doesn't want to tell her anything. He lies to her, saying he stayed at the director's house, then leaves her and goes to his room. He looks at a picture of his mother, recalls his memories with her, and decides to forget about revenge and start a new chapter. The next day, the final episode airs of his series. It succeeds and gets high viewership, being shared everywhere. Afterwards, Ruby and her team gather at the house and decide to go on a trip and record their new song. Jenny suggests that he travel with them to change the atmosphere. He likes the idea and agrees, but he insists on bringing She with him. Jenny gets upset and feels jealous. She tells him, I wish I hadn't invited you. They go to the airport to travel. She arrives on time and the team welcomes her, except for Jenny, who is the only one who can't stand her because she's jealous of Ako. She keeps making snide remarks, and she gets even more upset when she sees Ruby joking with her, thinking Ruby is involved with her brother. She leaves them and walks away upset, but Ako follows her and talks to her. He tries to calm her and says he will clarify their relationships to everyone, and that they are not involved, nor is there anything between them. With his words, she returns with him. They board the plane and travel to the city where they will be filming. There, the director is waiting for them. Even though they are tired and hungry, she tells them there is no time. She takes them to start working. Ako stays alone for dinner and they decide to take a walk in the city. He finds out that he and his sister were born here. He takes her to his old house and shows it to her, but he refuses to tell her his past. After they decide to go to the studio where Ruby and her team are. Jenny gets upset when she sees her, but Shah notices that her dress is not right. She worries about her idol image, so she fixes it. Jenny is touched by her kindness, thanks her, and they reconcile, improving their relationship. After that, they record songs, and Shah notices that Ako is looking at Jenny while she dances and realizes that he likes her. She feels upset but urges him to confess his feelings. However, he remembers what happened to his mother when He fears for Jenny and distances himself. After distancing himself, Ruby, feeling hopeful, finishes recording and asks Shah, intrigued, to walk with her. Shah agrees. Ruby confesses she loves an older doctor who encouraged her to become an idol, but he disappeared and she doesn't know where he is. She hopes when her song is popular he will see it, return and love her. Shah is moved. Ruby takes her and they go to the hospital where he used to work. She meets a nurse and asks about him, but the nurse tells her that he left the job and also disappeared suddenly, and no one knows anything about him since then. Ruby feels frustrated and leaves the hospital. She goes to the mountain where they used to meet, digs under a tree, and finds a box they had buried to open when she becomes an idol. However, Shah notices a castle on the ground and keeps walking until she descends from the mountain. She finds the body, a skeleton, and screams. Ruby hears her and goes to her, sees the body, and is shocked to find it wearing the coat. She realizes it's the doctor she loved, and realizes he fell from the mountain and died. She is stunned, she won't see him again. She sits on the ground and cries. The police arrive. Ruby goes to the station to testify. The next day, Shiha goes to talk to Ako and learns from him that he will no longer continue his revenge, and she feels but that he no longer needs her help. So she decides to distance herself from him and leaves. And she cries, "So come, dear doctor, this is our friend Ako." But after she's reborn, dear viewer, Rob was once with him, but in the old days before she died, and was reborn in this life too. Neither of the two siblings knows the whole story and they hide the past from each other. Returning to the present, dear viewer, Ako goes after her, wipes her tears, and confesses his true feelings to her, that he loves her. He approaches her and gives her raisins. Afterwards, Ruby goes with her team to shoot a commercial, but the director notices she's downcast and not herself. They try to cheer her up, asking her to get into the water to improve her mood. She does so, but starts connecting the dots and suspects the doctor's death wasn't an accident. She realizes someone was behind it and that the same person leaked information about her mom. The next day, back in the city, she visits her mom's grave, vowing revenge on the real criminal. As she leaves, someone unexpected appears. Where? He stands before the father and keeps laughing, and we find out he is the criminal. Then she returns home and watches with her team the song they made, which the YouTuber repeats posting on her channel. Jenny tries to talk to Echo, but she sees he has started ignoring her and is involved with something that upsets her. She keeps crying, and the YouTuber notices her state, tries to comfort her, and decides to help her by going. She talks to Echo and asks him to treat her well, but he explains he is doing this because he is worried about her, as she will become an idol one day, and if any fans find out, they might harm her. The YouTuber is convinced by his words and feels he is right. The next day, she publishes the video of their song. Surprisingly, it pleases everyone, gaining many views and trending on social media. Because of this, Ruby and her team share it, transforming from unknown girls to beloved idols, but despite their success, the YouTuber notices their team is not happy she is. She finds out Jenny is upset. Echo has stopped talking to her, but she doesn't know the reason for Ruby's sudden change either. The next day she goes to meet Echo and is surprised by his sudden change. She asks him the reason, and he decides to tell her everything. He says, "I was looking for my father to take revenge on him. I found out he was an actor, but he has died. That's why I decided to start a new chapter and pursue my dream." And she is surprised by his words, but she suspects something. When she returns home, she searches the results online. She finds out the name of the actor that Ako thought was the killer, but she discovers that he died before she did, which means he is not the real criminal. It turns out her mother was married to someone else, and he is the one who killed her. Indeed, she is right. At night, Ako returns home but finds his mother's manager waiting for him. They learn Ako's mother was married to another man, which caused her death. Ako is shocked by this news, thinking the matter was resolved and revenge had ended. He was prepared to begin a new chapter in his life. During the day, he remains troubled, making it difficult for the manager, who tries to calm him down. They reassure him they will find the person responsible and ensure he pays for his crime, as Ako's mother was like a daughter to them. But Ako is shocked and can't understand what he has learned. He sits alone, imagining as a child, telling them that he saw his mother dying and failed to save her. He can't bear it and pushes, but when he wakes up, he is surprised to find Jenny in front of him. He feels guilty for pushing her, apologizes to her, and tries to explain that he didn't mean it. But she remembers he did it because he hates her. She gives him the umbrella to protect him, then walks away crying, not understanding the reason. Suddenly she receives a message from a friend to a nightclub. Jenny goes to forget what happened. There her friend introduces a director and they continue drinking together. He offers a film role and she happily agrees. However, he asks her to his office to read the script and indeed she goes. The sneak takes pictures of them together and decides to publish them to spread rumors. Jenny is shocked the director has taken her to his house. She is scared but feels compelled to follow him. After a while she returns crying and we learn that he tried to harass her. Later Ako returns home frustrated and starts breaking things. He calls Shah and says since he met her he has changed and she gave him hope in life. He thanks her and apologizes because he has to leave. She is surprised and realizes he will find the real criminal and take revenge. So she decides to sacrifice herself to save him and finds out the criminal's name and goes to finish him off. But she walks, meets him on the bridge when Ako appears and catches up with her. She is surprised to see him and wonders how he found her. He had placed a tracking device in her bag to protect her. He sees she has a knife and realizes her intent, but he refuses and says he will handle it alone. He leaves her and walks away. The next day, photos of Jenny with the director spread everywhere and rumors say she is bad. Because of this, she disappears and no one knows her whereabouts. Ako feels guilty for upsetting her and looks for her. He succeeds in finding her sitting in the park where they met after school, and he sees her sitting there. He forgives her because she needs him, but when she looks behind her and sees him, she is embarrassed, thinking she is dreaming. She is also happy that he came for her. He feels sorry for her, takes her home. Afterwards, he ponders how to save her and dispelling rumors. He realizes that there is only one way. He decides to let people know the truth. On the day he holds a conference, he says they are the children of the famous singer. Everyone is shocked, and the news spreads everywhere. People keep talking about them and forget about the rumors about Jenny. However, when he gets home, he finds Ruby upset about what he did because he revealed the secret their mother had been hiding. She slaps him as he didn't keep his promise, and she leaves. However, Ako is planning something else. And we find out that he did this so the criminal would know they are still alive and try to get close to them so he can take revenge. So far, Ako wonders if he will succeed in his revenge or if the criminal will finish him and his sister off. That's what I know about the second season. If you're excited about it, let us know in the comments and activate the notification bell so you'll be the first to see it when it comes out. Goodbye, viewer. See you later.